done or whatever the case is, someone would then say, well, fuck you. You know what I mean? And withhold whatever affection or something that I like. And I never wanted that to happen. So I would just deal with something, even though it just was less than pleasing for me, just so that I can continue to have this person's affection or whatever. And so putting that at risk was like huge for me, because I never want to be without the people that I love. But I think that sometimes when it comes to boundaries, that's the risk that you have to take in choosing yourself above, whatever drama could exist. So yeah, that was wild. And here's the other thing that I learned since we've been away from each other, is that in order for myself to be happy in the present, I may have to make uncomfortable decisions that make me anxious about the future, but I can't continue to live in some idea in my head of what I've manufactured the future to be, nor some idea in my head of what I've fantasized the past to be about. I have to live in a space where I'm living in the present. And so for that reason alone, I'm going to have to, have these moments where I choose me in the immediacy, which is not. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I remember when I gave birth to a seat at the table, I had all kinds of questions. Where was I going to record my episodes? How was I going to make money off this? And also, how was I going to get my podcast on a bunch of different apps so I can make it more available to people? Well, the answer turned out to be real simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free. That's right, you heard me. It's 100% free. And it's so easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. So all that means is time to make this shmoney, honey. That's right. Get paid for your podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now, reading this ad to you. Okay? Listen, if you're like me, you work one place, you live another place. You may not even know people who have access to a studio, or even if you do, you don't have money for studio time. So if you've always wanted to record your own podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start and join me and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. All right, y'all. So we are back. So we were talking about Lil Bootsy, right? Yeah. Okay, so we were talking about Lil Bootsy. Now, do you know that these felony drug charges that he got is over weed? Weed, yes. Now, I'm not sure this took place in Georgia. I'm not sure what this is going to mean for Bootsy in terms of him being able to have his infamous pool parties, but stay tuned. So R. Kelly apparently has an STD. Big shocker. But there's also some receipts that are coming up on his behalf this week. They're using his Disneyland visiting as part of the trial. Ay. You guys, can someone tell me what's up with Katy Perry being accused of sexual assault as well? Apparently, some of her past employees are saying that Katy was a little frisky. I don't know. Are you apt to believe this less because she's a woman? If it wasn't Katy Perry, but Fred Perry, would you believe the story more? Now, I think it begs to lend a different question, which is, do we take sexual assault allegations more seriously because there is a man who is allegedly pursuing the action? Like, do we take it more seriously at that point? Or does it have any less or more merit when it's allegedly a woman? Now, I'm not sure about these Katy Perry stories, but I do know that it's been very quiet in terms of the story coming out and hearing a lot of news about it. I mean, I definitely feel like if you were a man, you'd definitely be hearing more about this story. So just look out for that and we'll see what happens. What do you guys think of this Jeffrey Epstein stuff and him killing himself? There is a lot of shade happening around this story. A lot of shade, let me tell you. First of all, the guards who were on duty aren't even like qualified guards. He hung himself and no one noticed. Okay, cool. And then when he did hang himself, apparently some guy who is a known murderer has now been missing from the jail. Same jail as Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, okay. So that's all a coincidence. Here's what I think. I think that Jeffrey Epstein definitely knew a lot more about these men messing with these little girls. And these high-profile men, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, all of these men. He knew a lot about it, and I believe that if his case were to go to trial, he was going to spill the tea. And so these girls had to do something. I mean, this man is a multi-billionaire. He was going to spill the tea. He wasn't going to just spend the rest of his life in jail. He was going to take some motherfuckers down with him. Right. So, there you go. Let's see. Did you guys hear about this woman who is suing Scottie Pippen? Apparently, this woman who paid for a flight to see... This was apparently like 30 years ago. Paid for a flight to see him. He said he would give her back the money. He did not. She is suing him for $999,000. Yes, because if you sue for $1 million, you got to pay tax on it. So, like, she don't want that. Yeah. Oh, yes. This is the thing. Girl, you waited 20, 30 years to get your shit paid? Miss, please. Oh, all right. You guys, we have stretched this ketchup for way too long. So... here's what I'm going to leave you with. Sometimes you need to leave motherfuckers that was in your past right there in your past. Believing that there could be possible redemption in the future for someone and not actually letting them actually show you that there could be redemption is a recipe for disaster. I think that there's a reason why people don't last beyond a season in our lives. And I think that sometimes we need to question our own fears and our own viewpoints of ourselves for why we feel it's necessary for these people who have seemingly been erased out of our lives for a reason. Why are we so apt to let them back in? I mean, do we think that if we let them back in, that is in fact going to be the healing power for them? Sometimes it's okay to leave the door ajar. Leave the door ajar sometimes. Sometimes let somebody show you who they are. Maybe you don't let them all the way back in. Maybe you just watch from a distance and see who they've become. And maybe sometimes that needs to be enough. That needs to be enough because they'll show you. Listen, I think that a lot of people are like, if you give people 90 days, it only takes 30 days to make a habit. So usually within 90 days, a nigga will show you how fucked up they really are. Or how consistent they really are. I think that it's okay if you let somebody just hang out and be a jar for 90 days. Think about it. Even if it's not a person, maybe it's a situation. Maybe sometimes you need to stop meddling in a situation, trying to craft it, trying to like fix it and mold it. Maybe you just need to let that shit be still. Let it be still. Let it do what it do. Give it 90 days, man. 90 days is not that long. Listen, we are about to hit the 90-day mark of the summer, June, July, August, right? In 2 weeks, August will come to an end. 90 days. Think about what you've done in those 90 days. Think about all the stupid shit. Like, think about the time and the energy that you've wasted on things that you've let in, that if you would just step back and give the shit 90 days. If you would have just let that shit float by, you would have probably been all right. Don't meddle in it. Just give it 90 days and see what happens. Now, I know that that's easier said than done for most of us because, well, we can't run with blinders. Like, we're always looking over and looking around and seeing what's going on, and let me craft this and let me fix that and let me do this and, you know, maybe just let me go ahead and let that nigga. No. Just trust me on this. 90 days. 90 days from now, November, right? So let's just say that we give November a try. Let's just see what happens between now and then could really change our entire lives. All right? Just be patient. Be still and know that he's God. All right, listen, that's enough from me. I love you. This has been great catching up with you. Peace.